What is going on, YouTube? We are just getting started with a little Amazon FBA Q&A. Got the TikTok right here, as always, where we get the questions from, and all of you get to watch the recording on YT or tune in live. Of course, ask your questions on YT as well. And side note for everybody on TikTok, if you guys were like, man, what did Luke say on that one live? All of the lives that I do on TikTok where you hear me do the intro, the YT intro like I just did right now, you guys can go re-watch the lives. Unless it's the rare case where I accidentally dox information of myself. Like yesterday, I accidentally doxed a few of my contacts and like their numbers and stuff. So I had to remove that YT live. But other than that, it is, they're all there. Differentiator as in making a product a little different, or the product listing? Well, the product is what we were just talking about with that, Chelsea, but you also want your product listing to stand out from your competition as well, right? You don't want to click copy and paste. You can take ideas from your competitors, just like with product differentiation, but you don't want to like just click copy paste what your competitors' images look like, or your manufacturer's images, or anything like that. Bro, how can I open in Germany one account? Same process as any other country. You would go on Amazon's official site. I don't know what Germany's version of .com is, unless you guys are under EU. Are you guys under EU? And then in that case, you would start the account. Kings and Outlaws, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Do you have a service where you help with ads, or would we need to buy your whole program? So Busy, in terms of the PPC management, I do have that in the mentorship, but that's only for my students. We do have the PPC Masterclass, which is, in my opinion, the most in-depth guide on Amazon PPC ads out there. You won't find as good of information on PPC ads on YouTube than you will in the PPC Masterclass. I say that with a stamp of approval. I do allow people to just get the PPC Masterclass if you didn't want to join the full program. But you wouldn't have access to me. You wouldn't have access to message me. That part is all part of the main mentorship. Do you private label or resell? Private label all day, every day, baby. What up, Rich? How you doing? I'm doing good, man. I started a live before I started this live. We were rocking and rolling, and I woke up and chose anger. I didn't just wake up, but you know what I mean. It's probably good that I reset and came on live after, because I was, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Let's go. Also, y'all, a very famous question that I get asked quite often is, why do you teach people how to sell on Amazon if you're so successful selling on Amazon yourself? Go watch the last video that I posted on TikTok and have some insight on that. Get in a call. Show you guys my North Star, why I teach people how to sell on Amazon. And the second to last video, I talked about that I was going to post this earlier in the week on live. It is a little picture of the old Luke. None of y'all knew the person that I was before I started selling on Amazon. That picture is a little bit of an insight on who I was before I started. And that's why I always think that it's funny when people think that like where they are in life currently is the reason why they can't sell on Amazon or start a business or, you know, better themselves in life. Everybody wants to use like where they are now as an excuse. As an excuse as to why. Rich, your first comment might have gotten muted, bro, because all I see is how you doing, and then I see then I will join your mentorship. How to reduce ACoS, bid optimization, increase your conversion rate, and those are going to be your two main ways. Dude, I'm up 1.8. I think I can relax. You're up twice as much. Congrats on your success, man. 4Ms. God bless you. Make money. 1.8 is amazing, brother. You're further. You're in the top 1% of the world and top 1% or top 10% of the U.S. Maybe even a little bit more than the top 10% in the U.S. So absolutely amazing and rich. Oh, he said, I'm on my last 40K. I'm almost 40. That's not necessarily bad, Rich. You're still above a huge percentage of people in the US. There's a stat where I think it's like 60% of people in the US couldn't afford a $600 bill that just came up randomly. Like, so obviously you have your like electricity, your rent, and all these things. But if someone had like a car breakdown and they had a $600 payment, 60% of people wouldn't be able to pay that. This is because I'm selling my stuff after a failing business. What business was it, Rich? Curious. And curious, what did you learn from that failed business? You never fail until you truly fall and quit, Rich. I've had failed products. Does that mean that I failed selling on Amazon? No. Congrats. Yes, sir. When you're doing another webinar, I'm done with those. Hire. I'm not going to be doing any more live webinars, at least for Amazon. I am starting a new business, God willing, in a couple of weeks. Never going to stop Amazon, but this is just a something I'm excited. I'm excited to share it with all of you guys when it finally does come out. I think that this will benefit Amazon sellers. It'll benefit drop shippers. It'll benefit you if you own a dentist office. It'll benefit you if you own a school, a law office, if you're a lawyer. It will benefit you if you resell products. How to increase conversion rate if facing hard competition. Increase your reviews and optimize your listing. Let me actually read you guys something. I'm not going to say who it was, of course, because I don't dox. I don't dox any information. Let me get to Hanto's question. What type of laptop would be best for Amazon business? I saw most use MacBook, anything cheaper. Bro, it literally doesn't matter. If it has internet connection, you're good. I want to show you guys something. This was the first laptop that I ever started with my very first Amazon business. This thing is a brick, son. So it's this HP computer that I got in 2017. It's the battery's messed up. I have to replace the battery. It only works if it's plugged in. There's a brick of a laptop right here. Okay, it's a touch screen, pretty cool. My mom got it for me. I know that it's cheaper than a MacBook. It doesn't matter if you have an old computer, your parents' office computer. If it connects to the internet, then you can get rocking and rolling. I use a Chromebook. Nice level. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I like Mac, but I honestly like a Mac just because of the fact that like I can pull stuff from my iPhone and then send it to my computer. But I would say that that's not a feature that I really use for Amazon too much, unless it's like WhatsApp and like my designer sends me an image, then I can take it from my phone. I guess I also have WhatsApp on my computer. It really doesn't matter, bro. It really doesn't matter in terms of like your success on Amazon or you getting going or anything like that. Just looking to get started. Should I start with Amazon or drop shipping? I mean, Amazon, here's the thing, drop shipping, 100% of your ads are going to come, or 100% of your sales are going to come from ads. This account that you guys see right here, 70+% of sales come from not running a single dollar on ads. We run ads all day, every day, but the point is all of 100% of our sales are not reliant on ads. As we're drop shipping, it is. Nima, I mean, it would be up. I'm not the guy, y'all, who's going to tell you what business model you should do. And also, none of you guys should take, like, if you're interested in a business and somebody online is teaching that business, awesome, learn from them. But if somebody sits, like, I don't like the people who are like, this business doesn't work, this business doesn't work, this business doesn't work, but you know what does magically work? My business. Okay, whatever. Even me, like, I know I talk a lot of smack on arbitrage and wholesale, which are Amazon business models, but I'll never say that they don't work. People make money from them. So you guys need to look for a business that is interesting to you, because if some random person, random dude, random gal on the internet is the one who tells you how to do that business, but you have no interest in that business, then when things get tough, it's going to be really tough. You feel me? How many bullet points would you put in your product description? Well, bullet points and product description are two different things. I like to utilize as much of Amazon's character count as I want. So, because you want it to be optimized for SEO loud. That's how I approach it. Okay, let me read you guys this conversation. It was in DMs. All right. So via DMs, did you start with private label? Yes. I kind of have a tight schedule with work, not an excuse. Is Amazon manageable in terms of time? Nima, I started selling on Amazon working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and then I didn't have enough money to start selling on Amazon. So I asked my cousins if I can work overtime 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and I still had enough time to start my Amazon business. Obviously, that schedule was only until I had enough money to start. But then I was still working a full-time job. So let me read you guys this conversation. This is what most people don't get and why most people fail selling on Amazon. I asked because somebody was asking me, they were struggling with a product. I said, and if you don't mind, how much money should I start with or is needed? I'd say at least 3K minimum. Carol, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Any of y'all who are in the live and not following, make sure you hit that plus sign. And follow the page for Amazon e-commerce and travel content. I'm actually going to change my TikTok bio to mention travel content. As well, and a new company is going to be in my bio soon. Stay tuned. But let me read this to you. So I asked this person, how many optimizations have you made to your listing, specifically the main image? He said, hey, Luke, I launched about 6-7 weeks ago and haven't made any changes to the images, just small changes to the title. I am now working on making a new main image on a few of the variations and have been selling decently to see if conversion gets better. I said, if you're not converting and just spending on ads, just optimizing the title isn't going to move the ball for you. I'm going to skip that part because that's proprietary to them. I don't want to dox them. I'm not trying to say this in a negative way, but just get you to start thinking. Just get you to start making those proactive optimizations. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. I launched a new product last month and have already made 4 to 5 optimizations / new changes to the main image, plus optimizing infographics and pushing for more reviews when I saw conversion isn't where I wanted it to be. I said, I appreciate and none of this is negative, y'all. It's all a learning experience for all of us. So nothing negative to this person. Nothing negative to anybody who's not doing this, right? It's just mainly to get people to click in their head. Because a lot of business really is mindset. I know that sounds like foo-foo la-la motivation talk. No, I don't believe in motivation. I believe in sticking to the fundamentals, doing the right things that are going to get you successful. Said, I appreciate the feedback and nothing you say will be perceived to be negative. Do you think I should minimize the spend on PPC until the new images are complete or continue with ad optimizations? I said, are you losing money on ads right now? Yes, I am. It's ridiculous. I'll explain to you in a few. And then I said, then yeah, go pump the brakes. Or then I would pump the brakes until you can dial in conversion. The last thing you want is PPC to go. And all of a sudden you're so much in the red that it doesn't even make sense to put more money into making optimizations. Then I sent them this video that I'm going to play for all of you right now. This is why y'all got to be following, because these are the kind of gems that I post on my TikTok. So let's play this. You guys will hear the audio. Make sense? There's a method to the madness, y'all. Like there maybe that, you know, the song, I think it's Remember the Name, where it's like 10% luck, 20% will. You know, it's a catchy little song. Some of y'all remember, maybe some of y'all are too young. I guess I'm young too. But anyways, I would say that maybe business is like 10% luck, right? There is a little bit of luck involved, but the rest of it is how hard you work, the things that you do in business. Like, I didn't just magically wake up to these sales right here, you guys. You know what I'm saying? And this is just one out of 4 successful Amazon businesses. What niches are you in? Home and kitchen, health and household, office product. This account is only health and household, but on other accounts, home and kitchen, office products, baby products, toys and games are some of my top categories that I sell in. Great analogy. Thank you, Kings. Hope that helps. It's practical advice, guys. It's not like flashy. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to get the most views or anything like that. I'm simply just trying to give people just analytical advice, because that's what helped me. I would go and watch YouTube videos aside from listening to my cousins talk, who were my mentors, and those were the people who helped move the ball for me. So I try to be that for everybody else. I need to start selling on Amazon. Carol, there's an expression that I like to say. The best time to start selling on Amazon was 6 months ago. The second best time to start selling is now. I just passed $1,000 in sales. Just started 2 weeks ago. Let's go, Aaliyah. Absolute W, absolutely amazing. Wishing you, I already know that you don't do the business model that I do, but God bless you. God bless your Amazon business, and wishing you Godspeed on your journey. Guess what, Aaliyah? For real talk right now. You're ahead of 99.9% of people. Let's backtrack that number. You're ahead of like 70% of the people who follow my Amazon page on social media. because all these people, it's almost like window shopping. It's like, oh, I really want that item. I really want that item. I really want that item, but I'm going to do nothing to get it. Curious, Aaliyah, what is your profit margin? You don't have to share if you don't want to by any means. But I am just curious. How many products did you start with? I started with one. Kings. Been going at it for a month since yesterday. Hit 1,800 in sales. First 102 units sold. Let's go, baby. The journey begins. I like that, actually. I like that, my guy. Yeah, just getting started. Enjoy the ride. And my advice for both of you, since you're just getting started, is, and same thing for you, Chef. God bless you. God bless your business, and Godspeed along the rest of the journey. But something that I recommend to both of y'all is make sure, or I guess not make sure, but I recommend document your journey along your way. I'm not saying make Amazon content on social media. No. But one of my favorite things to do, like I enjoy it way too much. I don't do it often, but when I do, is going through my old memories, my old pictures, my old Snapchat memories, because that's where I used to post a lot personally, just like for my friends and family and stuff. I go through and look at those memories, and I wish that I documented more. Like I posted a picture yesterday of me at that Amazon conference. I really didn't take very many pictures outside of that. Or like just the conversations that I had and all these little things. So yeah, my biggest piece of advice is document the journey. Because when you're doing 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, God willing, it's going to be really cool to look back at that. Share it with share it with the fam, share it with the people who believed in you the most, right? Chef, curious, and thank you so much for the follow, Chef. I appreciate you. Curious what business model you do. I believe Aaliyah is doing arbitrage. I do private label. And see, guys, this is what I'm saying. Like, I can have an opinion. This is why, opinion is simply an opinion. Like, I have my opinions that I don't like. I'm not a big fan of arbitrage and wholesale, but you guys will never hear me say that they don't work. You'll never hear me say that people shouldn't necessarily do them. I'm biased, right? Because I do private label. And I'm actually, like, when I go hard against arbitrage and wholesale, it's not for like the sellers like Aaliyah and Chef. I don't really like the perception of the arbitrage and wholesale community. Like the seller, not the community. Let me backtrack that too. The people who make content on arbitrage and wholesale, because you guys will hear me talk about it. I'm like, no, people make money in those business models. I know the biggest Amazon seller that I personally know does $40 million in top line revenue doing wholesale, right? At a 10% profit, we run about a 36% profit, but they're crushing it, right? So it would be ignorant, and I would be just straight up lying if I ever said, no, it doesn't work. People can't make money from it. But I don't like the community who makes content about arbitrage and wholesale, because I just hear the same pitch every day, or not every day, but every time I see one of their videos pop up on my screen or whatever. So, but yeah, just, you guys should never listen to somebody's opinion where they're like, drop shipping doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work, because everything works. You could go start a sock company tomorrow. And if you do it right, you can be as big as Bomba Socks. Now, the percentage of the likelihood of that happening is probably low, but it's possible. So anybody who's trying to say that, like, definitive answer, no, this doesn't work anymore, it's nonsense. I think every single one of us has seen one of these ads on like IG or Facebook or whatever. I don't use Facebook, but Meta, where it's like, don't do Amazon, that doesn't work. Don't do affiliate marketing, that doesn't work. Don't do TikTok shop, that doesn't work. But my new business model just so happens, what are the odds? None of these business models that are tried and true work, but my business model works. It's nonsense. Nonsense, mate. I would like to look into private label in about a year. I love it, Aaliyah. Stay on the path. Keep getting it. Nice. I'm working on Lego and brand. Planned on Adidas next. I love it. I love it. I love to see people win. Like, if you guys go watch my last video, I'm not the reason why like Chef or Aaliyah are in the position that they are, they do a different business model than me. But whether it's my students, whether it's people like Chef or Aaliyah who come in the live and share their results, I absolutely love it. That's what keeps me going. I despise social media. I'm not a fan of it anymore. I've never really talked about this except for on today's live, but I've thought about quitting social media and just calling it a day. I'm good. I could retire. But things like that do keep me going. And I like all of y'all. I like being in the live vibing with all of y'all every day and stuff. So Umni, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Mark, one of the OGs in the live. Been a minute. Yes, sir, it has. Hey, Robert, one of the mentorship students. Already enjoying this content a lot. I love it, Chef. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. And that goes for all of y'all. So, ran out of space on Amazon. Any advice on getting a 3PL? You don't necessarily need a 3PL, brother. If you go to your shipment tab and then pop up is going to show capacity manager kind of at the bottom middle of the screen, you can bid on more inventory for your current Amazon account. I don't really use 3PLs. Like we have on one account, we probably have like 20,000 plus units sitting at Amazon, and not everybody can send in, 50,000, 40,000 units to Amazon. But the way to do it is obviously increase your sales velocity. And then 2 is you can bid on more storage. This was actually a game changer because we had an account that during Q4, gotcha, I bid too low. Probably, Robert. But if you're bidding to where it makes financial sense for you, but you're getting outbid and it's not working, then yes, you can explore 3PLs. I've personally not used them, but we didn't even use them when we had this one issue right before Amazon added the capacity manager where you can bid on more inventory, which I believe got implemented 2024. We would have this issue where during Q4, Amazon would like lower our inventory levels, even though our sales velocity was really good. And so like at the time where we needed the most inventory, Amazon would give us the least inventory, and it would cause a little bit of problems there. Also AWD, Robert. So if you have, let's say you have 4 months of inventory, you can send like 1 or 2 months of inventory to Amazon if that's what your capacity allows. Send the rest to AWD. AWD is kind of like a 3PL. They'll store your products and it'll be for a lower storage cost than Amazon. I go over that in the program as well, Robert. By the way, y'all, for those of you who are new, Robert's a student, or else I wouldn't tell one of you who aren't in the program, oh, you have to go to the mentorship to learn that. But just for easy access for my guy right here. When you say FBA, are you teaching private label or wholesale? I know it gets confusing. Maybe I should stop doing that, Jet. FBA is just the more popular term, but I do private label. It actually is like a misconception where a lot of people think that FBA is arbitrage or wholesale. People will ask, not you, but like people will ask, are you doing FBA or private label? Well, FBA can be all of the business models. But yeah, I do private label. I create my own brands. Do you think, oh wait, hold on, I missed a question. Here we are. Do you think Amazon FBA is one of the least time-consuming ways to earn money? Yes, I do, considering that it usually starts off as a side hustle for everybody that I know. I think I only know one person who didn't have an active job while they started Amazon, and now they're crushing it. But outside of that, my cousins, myself, my students, everybody started with a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't require 40 hours a week. In fact, you shouldn't quit your day job because there's going to be so much downtime in between that you're going to be like, well, what do I do now? Chase, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Appreciate you. I'm selling the U.S. market. In order to sell in Mexico, do I need to send inventory to Mexico? No, you can actually turn on Mexico because Amazon considers North America as a whole. So there's 2 ways to go about it with North America. is you can, actually all of the countries, but specifically North America, you can send your US, or you can turn on your US inventory, your US inventory to be sold in Mexico and Canada, or you can send inventory directly to those countries. I personally like just turning it on with my US inventory. First private label got listed. They won't let me change the listing title. They override with their own. Any ideas? Yes, daily. So 2 ways to go about this, and they're kind of the same, but it's going to be like the escalation of the steps. So the first way is upload a flat file or download a category listing report. And that's going to be like, it's going to be an Excel file with your title, your bullet points, your description, your category, all the information that's on the edit page of your listing. Change the title that way. And then there's going to be an option where it says upload product via, what is the exact terminology there? Let me double check it for you. Add product via upload. That's what it is. And then so you'll be able to upload the Excel sheet, and usually that helps change it. Now, the second escalation is you can create a case with Amazon and say, hey, listen, I tried to change it. Here's the it'll give you a reference ID for when you upload a flat file, and then tell them to change it. And then if all of that doesn't work, then the next option would be download that category listing report. Make sure that all the information is correct. Your ASIN or your product ID, whichever one, your title, your bullet points, your description, everything is correct. You want to this is a very key aspect of this. And then you're going to delete your listing for 24 hours. This is considered a hard reset. Now, do not do this if you do not have the Excel file, and it's not just a random Excel file. It's the one that you download from Amazon. You'll download the Excel file, make sure the information is good, delete the listing for 24 hours, and then re-upload it. It'll be the same ASIN, it'll be the same product. If you have inventory associated with the product, you don't lose your inventory. If needed, I would look up a video on how to do that, just so that you can follow it step by step. 10 to 20K a month profit seems so crazy, but so possible. I like that, Parasite. It is very wild to think, but it is also very possible, right? I just posted a result of a student who's doing 30K in top line revenue at a 30% profit margin, 30K, 30%. That's 10K in net profit. And they launched end of last year, Q4 of last year. Do you run sponsored brand videos? Yes, but not in the beginning. You need to focus on sponsored products. Sponsored product drives 70% of all ad sales on Amazon. That's the only thing that you should focus on. Would you recommend putting all listings on PPC, including top selling and dead stock? No, that's the worst strategy. One product per campaign. Amazon doesn't evenly distribute the budget. Also, if you have irrelevant products, why would you add them in the same PPC campaign? You're going to bid on water bottle for a toy product and a water bottle. It makes no sense. I'm not trying to come at your comment, Ibby. Sorry, this is just how I talk, you guys. Do you think 5K is enough to start? And is AliExpress a good place to start sourcing products? Alibaba, not AliExpress. And yes, 5K is a very generous amount. Give me 2 seconds. If you know that sound, you know that sound. If you don't know that sound, don't worry about it. Do you run, also what's your PPC strategy for launch? I have a lot of videos on my PPC strategy. We're running low on the shares today. Let's get to 15 shares on the live, and I'll go over my PPC launch strategy. little side note, you guys can click the share button, click copy link. It counts as a share to the algorithm. You can click that as many times. You don't actually have to send it to anybody, but it helps out the algorithm. Thank you. Listed product 1 week ago. Put keywords in description. Can't find it on any page at all. Well, that's normal. If you don't have inventory, it's not going to show up on any page. And B, if you just launched and you do have inventory, you got to rank the product first. When do you want your inventory at Amazon by for Q4? It changes every year, private. So Amazon will actually send out mass emails when your inventory needs to be in or like shipped in. If you want it to arrive for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then also arrive for before Christmas, because there's going to be a huge drop in conversion from when after Cyber Monday and Black Friday, Amazon starts to appear a badge on there that says arrives before Christmas. It's this little green badge under your price. Your conversion will do very well if your product's going to be there before Christmas. Your product's conversion will tank as soon as you get the red badge arrives after Christmas or may arrive after Christmas. But they tell you last year, I believe, to arrive before Christmas, it was, I almost want to say December 2nd, but I think that is too late. I may be incorrect on that one. I don't remember. But before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I believe they said October 20 something. I don't remember the exact day, but it changes every year. Based on, whatever key metrics that Amazon is looking at to decide that on their back end. How do you get engaged without buying the products? I don't do arbitrage and wholesale, number one. Number two, in most cases, I know Amazon auto ungates for a lot of categories, but in most cases, you have to submit an invoice. Amazon's also cracking down on this, you guys. I've heard a lot of people who did like these gray area or black hat tricks for arbitrage and wholesale, and then they got ungated, right? They got ungated and they got regated. Same thing. My very first product that I launched on Amazon was a supplement. So it's like I've almost seen what like the arbitrage and wholesale community is going to be likely going through in the next 1 to 2 years, where a lot of people who were just selling supplements free range, didn't have to have any approval tests, no ISO certification tests, no like product compliance tests. It was the wild, wild west. You could get a product, and I would never have done this. I'm just telling you what people did. You could get a product manufactured in China, a supplement. You could make up information on there, that's also considered illegal, by the way. So, but people were doing it, mainly Chinese manufacturers. Like a product, my very first product that I sold, it was 1,000 milligram type of supplement, right? And that was considered a lot. And then I would look, and there was people on Amazon selling 1 million milligrams, 10 million milligrams. And it's like, okay, that's scientifically impossible. So they were just putting whatever on the label. And then a lot of them were claiming made in the USA, which that's also illegal. If your product is not made in the USA and then you claim made in the USA, there's ways to get around that, kind of like these fashion brands do. And then all of a sudden, Amazon sent out mass emails one day. I think that ended up happening 2022 or 2023, where they're like, doesn't matter if you're a multi-million-dollar a month seller. If you have these kind of products on Amazon, you are going to have to submit approval tests, which honestly was one of the best things that happened for my brand, because I had competitors just get knocked off Amazon. It was great. It was great. Took 2 to 3 weeks for shipping and receiving, even with splits. Is this normal processing? Seems crazy. Yeah, it's pretty standard. It should have been less than 2 or less than 3 weeks for your product to have become available. But in terms of them receiving all of your inventory, yeah. And then on top of that, it takes 90 days to close a shipment. User 87, thank you so much for the follow. Wholesale, no sir. Private label, my favorite and the best business model on Amazon, if I do say so myself. Does shipping time depend on how many units you have across US? Example, more units equals faster shipping? No, no, it does not. It usually depends on the time of the year and how many trucks are available, how many boats are available, right? So that's going to probably be the biggest factor into the shipping process, private label. I like the name, by the way. Staying true to the brand, huh? Mina, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Appreciate I know I say the same thing every time people follow, so I don't want you guys to think that just something that I say to be on repeat, but I genuinely do appreciate everybody who follows, everybody who supports the videos, everybody who likes my videos, who comments on my videos, who shares my videos. I do not get on live for an hour every day or almost every day. Just to hear myself talk. I do this for y'all, so it does mean a lot when y'all show me love back. Also, I don't know why this thought just popped in my head. I don't go live every single day anymore, but when I first started going on live, which was in 2023, I got a little burnt out. This is why I take breaks now. But I went live for over 380 days, every single day, an hour a day, consistently. I was on a grind back then, son. I got too old for that. I can't go live every single day. I go live Monday through Saturday. So that's why you guys got to tune in. How much is your mentorship, and is it a guarantee if you put in the work and ask the right questions? I'm assuming that you're going to say be successful potential. Here's the thing. I probably miss out on 50 students a year because of the way that I'm about to answer this question. There's no guarantees in business, brother. So this is the reason. I can actually, let me look this up for you guys. I'm going to prove to you guys a point really quickly. Let's go to ChatGPT. I'm going to ask ChatGPT, the all-knowing AI, is it legal for me to make, I'm also a finger typer, so bear with me. Is it legal for me to make financial guarantees in my mentorship program? I just want you guys to all see this for a second, or I'm going to read it to you. Ready? In most cases, making financial guarantees in a mentorship program, especially ones that promise income, profit, or success, is legally risky and potentially illegal or subject to regulatory action, particularly in the U.S. Here's why. FTC, the Federal Trade Commission regulations. The FTC prohibits false, misleading, or unsubstantial earning claims. If you say something like, I guarantee you'll make $10,000 a month, you must have documented proof. And the thing with the documented proof, I have the documented proof. You guys see the mentorship student results. I would have to have documented proof for every single student out there. There's no program in the world where it has 100% success rate. So hence, anybody who does these things, it would be illegal. Also, if you put a financial guarantee, it becomes legally binding. And then somebody who doesn't make that much money can sue me. So anybody that you guys see on the internet who makes financial guarantees, that is quite literally illegal, right? What I can guarantee is that you will learn every single step from A to Z to a T, exactly how I launch products on Amazon. So the strategies that I use for my successful products and sometimes for my failed products, I probably only have a handful of failed products, but I personally have a 70% success rate launching products on Amazon. I cannot guarantee that same thing to you. You will learn my exact strategies, tips from A to Z. I have some students who are very successful, and I've had some students who they missed the mark. But I will say this, every single student who has missed the mark does not follow my instructions to a T. That doesn't mean that if you do that you're guaranteed, because there's too many factors outside of my mentorship that play into your success on Amazon. I could give you a product. I could give you the differentiator. I could give you my exact launch strategy. I could tell you, listen, you got to push for 10 to 15 reviews before you even run PPC ads. And then all of a sudden you're like, Luke, I'm not successful. What the heck? You told me that I was going to be successful. And then I asked you, how many reviews do you have? I only have 2 reviews, and I've spent thousands of dollars on PPC ads, and I made 0 optimizations. That's outside of me. I can't control that part of your business. That's on you, right? So like I said, when I answer I would get so many more students, which I don't want to do this, and I will not ever do this. I could get so many more students if I'm like, yeah, brother, I guarantee that you're going to do X, Y, Z. But that's just not how business works. I can't even guarantee the products that I launch. Again, 70+ success rate, but I also 30%. That doesn't even mean that on those 30% that I lose all of the money on the products. A lot of the time we're able to recoup a lot of the investment and stuff. But hopefully that gives you guys some insight on the type of mentor I am, the type of person that I am. This isn't no get rich quick scheme. This isn't no, I don't know any other expression for that. But yeah, we got to keep it 100. Always keep it 100. Oh, also we got, oh no, we didn't get the share goal. Nice, Robin. Too risky to ask local friends and family and customers to search to find products. Don't want to get flagged. Allegedly, I'm not saying that I do this, because I would never give this advice. But allegedly, if you were going to do it, you just wouldn't want anybody under the same Wi-Fi or IP as you. Like if you live with your mom or your auntie or your girlfriend, you wouldn't want any of them, or your boyfriend, you wouldn't want any of them to buy their product and leave you a review. But Amazon, I'll say this, I would never give this advice. But Amazon doesn't have a list of your friends and family. They're not like daily electrolytes. Oh, he knows Jimmy Neutron. He knows this person. He knows Luke Basha. He knows Ben. Oh, wait, Ben just left a review for electrolytes. Wait a second, flag. You know what I mean? Aaliyah, thank you for sharing the live. Daily electrolytes. Thank you so much for the follow, my friend. They fulfill a bunch of sellers, and you basically get domestic shipments to avoid placement fees. I mean, I avoid placement fees on my own. It's very easy to avoid the placement fees, you guys. You just need 5 boxes of 5 units at least, so 25 units to send to different fulfillment centers, and then you avoid the inbound placement fees. Do you do retail arbitrage? No, I do private label. I create my own brands. Since you're private label, do you have a store? Do you have to store your own products? Nope, that's the beauty of it. I still do FBA, right? So all of my products go directly from my manufacturer overseas, or some are sourced locally to Amazon's fulfillment centers where they're going to store it. Every time I get an order, Amazon picks, packs, and ships that order directly to the customer. Also, shameless plug. Y'all make sure you go show some love to the last few videos that I posted. They were some gem videos, so make sure y'all go check those out. Can you do private label FBM? Yes, you can, but I never, ever, ever, ever recommend FBM. I would actually recommend arbitrage, which y'all know my thoughts on arbitrage, more than I would recommend FBM. There's really no virtual reason in the world for you to pick, pack, and ship your own products, Miss Kai. In fact, I'm going to show you, after I'm going to catch up on some questions, and I'm going to show you guys an example of this big misconception of like FBA fees and stuff like that. It's the boogeyman. FBA fees and PPC ads are the boogeyman. It's not real. Oh, those are, I guess, hold on. If they're real, those are things. FBA fees are real. But how they're negatives, that's the boogeyman. It's not real, non-existent. Boogeyman doesn't exist. Potential. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for the follow. What up? How a knife sharpener as a product? Dark, I only review products for the students, my guy. But you just cross-reference the product with a good product criteria. Is grossing 20K a month realistic after 12 months of launching? Let's replace the word realistic and replace it with possible, Bo. Is grossing 20K per month possible after 12 months? Yeah, it's possible. One of my students is currently doing 30K a month and they've been selling less than 12 months. That's not like guaranteed that if you do, you're going to get those same results. Because remember, past results do not dictate future successes. So like my student who's doing 30K, they launched, I think September of last year. Let me actually, I can confirm that because I selected that product for him. So we have a sheet on when I sent everybody their product. Hold on. Let's see here. So they officially launched the product August. So August of 2024. And here they are this month, 30K top line revenue at a 30% profit margin after ads, by the way. Does format A+ content matter? Like, would only banner style images still work just as good for SEO? So cool thing about adding A+ content is there's written parts of A+ content. It's a word and picture description. So having the words on your images isn't going to benefit your SEO, but you can also do, alt text. There's alt text on the images. That helps with SEO. And although the A+ content replaces the all word description, if you go on the edit listing button and you add a word description, that still counts towards the SEO of your product. I'm doing FBM for my products now. Could I switch them to FBA? Yes, Aaliyah, you can. I'm going to show you guys an example right now. What do you do most often for pricing? Rock bottom, middle range, or highest in the category? I like to be price competitive, so I'm never striving to be the lowest price in the product or in the category, but I do like to be price competitive. So I would say my sweet spot is middle range. Would I have to unlist and relist as FBA, or can I just change it without doing that? You can just change it. So if you go to your inventory tab and you click on the 3 little dots on the selected product, you'll notice that if you're doing FBM already, you'll notice that it says change to fulfilled by Amazon, and then you would just change it. How do you add in CPC to the profit margin? You don't add CPC. And you don't calculate it by ACoS either. ACoS doesn't determine your profit margin on Amazon. Tacos does. So ACoS is ad spend divided by ad sales. Tacos is ad spend divided by total sales, organic and paid sales. So expect on your very first launch for your tacos to be much higher, because it always is in most cases, I would say. But then you're going to increase your organic rank. You're going to increase your conversion if you're making the proper optimizations. And then from there, this account runs anywhere from a 7 to 9% tacos. And it's a 40% profit margin after ads. Bravo. Got to run. Thanks for all the information. Of course, Kings, SEO and photo meta can, in theory, help SEO. Amazon has stated, Kale, that the image itself. So again, there's alt text on the image. So almost like you have your image, and behind the image, there's words that you can put in. That helps with the SEO. But Amazon has stated multiple times that the picture itself. So if I have an image that says water bottle, that doesn't help my SEO for the keyword water bottle. I have branded my products in my house. Is FBA going to be too pricey to ship? Miss Kai, I'm about to show you an example right now. How many products categories do you have? 40 plus products, including variations. True tacos are tasty too. Yes, sir. That's a fact. Any chance you would go live review my listing? Images mainly, no A+ content yet. I only review, this is the one thing that I do gatekeep. I only review people's products who are in my mentorship, but that's out of respect for people who pay for direct access to me, right? I'll answer any of your guys' questions. If you can give me more insight on the product without me actually reviewing it, I'll give you tips and stuff, but I would add A+ content for sure. How do I find the address for Amazon if I want to start FBA? You'll create a shipment. So you click send/replenish inventory on a FBA listing. And then from there, you'll go through a few prompts, fill out some box information, and then Amazon will give you where to ship your products. I know what metadata is, Kale, but like I said, Amazon on multiple occasions have said that that is not how SEO works on their platform. I know on other platforms it does, like on, if you have a website, your metadata on the images will help with your SEO, but on Amazon, they don't roll like that. How much money goes into ads? It depends. It depends on your tacos and it depends on your conversion. Mentorship is $3K, Bo. All right, so let me show you guys. We're gonna turn this screenshot off and I'm gonna show you guys something right now. Well, let me actually let me get this prepped first and then I'll show you guys something. This is a big misconception about selling products on Amazon, okay? So I'm actually, just for the sake, actually, how many reviews before you personally start running ads? 10 to 15. And then I never stop pushing for more reviews. Let me pull up the mentions from an actual product that I'm launching for y'all. Or not launching, launched. Just so you can get a realistic expectation here. Because most people say Amazon FBA fees will destroy your business. Well, no, that's not a thing either. Especially if you calculate these things prior to ever launching a product, which is what everybody should do, right? So let's do this. Okay. Would you recommend inserting a personal brand story in my shipping box, asking for a review? You have to, you can do this, but you have to be Amazon compliant. You can't ask people for a 5-star review. That's against, I know a lot of people do it still, but you, oh my gosh, why isn't this working? Hold on, I have to refresh it. You have, like I said, you have to be Amazon compliant. So you can ask people for an honest review, but you can't ask them to leave you a 5-star review. Gente, all I see is then Wise account as deposit. Sometimes TikTok mutes comments, so I didn't mute it, and I'm not ignoring your question, but I didn't see your question. Maybe retype it a different way. Miss Kai, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Let's get this pulled up. I'm going to show you guys why FBA fees are not the boogeyman. Okay, maybe not, because the FBA fee calculator is not working. It says an unexpected error has occurred. Please refresh or try again later, but I did refresh and it's still not working. Let's try changing this. Okay, let's go on a different browser. I'll show you guys on a different browser. Hold on. Hold on. If I didn't hype it up so much, I just would leave it alone, but I told you guys I would show you, so let's do it. Sorry, I keep moving my phone around because I have it pressed up against my laptop screen and I got to see what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Let's try it again. If it doesn't work here, then we're out of luck. I can't show you guys, but I think that it'll work on this browser. Let's go. Give me 1 second here. We'll select our category. We'll input our unit price and let's see, estimate. Okay, I think the revenue calculator is just not working because on a different browser, it showed me the same thing. We'll save it for another live. Canadian credit card. as charge method, then Wise is deposit method. I live in Canada, still in US. Is that the best setup for me? I have a lot of students in Canada who use Wise, so that's how they set it up. Yeah. All right, everybody. On that note, sorry I didn't get to show that. You would recommend a personal brand story insert though? It can help. It can help, but you have to be Amazon TOS compliant. So just make sure that you adhere to all Amazon's rules. Shameless plug, everybody. If you guys like the videos, like the lives, like the way that I teach Amazon and want to have me as your personal mentor, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. I hope everyone has a blessed day. It's free to apply. Go hop on a call with the team. Obviously, the program is not free, but it's free to apply, free to hop on a call with the team, learn more about the program, and the team will help create a unique plan for your unique situation because everybody is different. So make sure y'all go check that out again in the TikTok bio. Make sure you go show some love to my last few videos. And on that note, yes, you do, Miss Kai. But on that note, everybody, I hope you have a blessed day.